Hello, welcome to Kaleidoscope. It covers the art scene of the Chattahoochee Valley. That's all the way from East Alabama to West Georgia and all points in between. I've got with my guest today, Mr. JT Rowling, photographer, and we're going to talk to you. I don't know you that well. I've seen your work, but I haven't actually met you in person until today, so good to meet you.
Well, hi.
And where were you born? Let's hear something about your past. Where were you born? And we'll take it from there.
I was born in Columbus in 1986 at the medical center.
Very good year. My daughter was born the year after in the medical center. Very good time and place to be born. So, and you're a photographer. You've been doing this for a while?
2 years, I think, in October. It was 2 years in October or September.
And he's got some really striking work, as you'll be seeing here. This is one I've been looking at here. Very definitely, he's got the elan, as we call it there. But and your work is pretty much representational of figures. What sort of a photography do you cover there? Representation of human form and other things, abstract work at all or anything?
I really just do people. My friends, really. I mean, everybody that I've taken pictures of are my friends.
And these models are your friends also? We can give them a little plug.
That's
because I know they're looking for modeling jobs.
That's Desiree and Megan.
Desiree and Megan, they are local girls. So anybody looking for some actresses or models, contact JT, and we're going to put his info on the screen shortly. Okay, this is some really nice color, really nice form. I'm seeing some definite, I'm seeing some of the fisheye, I'm seeing some of that fisheye effect influences you've had in photography and life in general, because that's one thing I like to deal with is sometimes you're influenced by some famous photographer or artist, musician, but sometimes it's just straight from real life is your influence, and that's why I always ask your influences, different things like that. What caused you to really make this happen? What to just jump out there and start creating art?
My mom.
Your mother?
Yep.
And
they bought a farm in Blue Ridge after my grandparents died, and she really just took pictures of her animals and around the scenery and the bridges and the fall leaves and stuff. So I figured if my mom can make stuff look like that, then I should be able to do something cool with my friends. So I just picked up my camera one day and I called Megan and we went out to Flat Rock, and that's where I did my first thing with Megan.
And this is Megan?
Yes, that's Megan right there.
This is Megan?
That's Megan. And then Desiree was the second one I did pictures of, and it's really because of those two that I got into this, because all my pictures of them turned out really good and everybody liked them. So I grabbed all my other girls, Robin, Holly, Victoria. Oh,
you've got it's very influenced, reminds me of some of the 60s of the phenomenon of the artist with his entourage. But I've noticed there almost reminds me of the Robert Palmer video. Older guys like me and Rusty remember the Robert Palmer videos. I'm not sure who directed those, but it's probably like a generational influence because these two young models almost look like they could be twins or clones or something. It's a very cool effect. I like it. They're a mirror image kind of thing.
They're very special girls.
And this is great layout. You got a great form of placement. So JT Rollins, check him out. JT Rowling, I'm sorry. So, anyway, this is Columbus. We call Jordan. Anyway, excuse me, JT Rollins, give him a call. We got some contact information going to flash up pretty soon. They can find you on Facebook, or do you have a studio? Or
I just grab my camera and go somewhere.
Well, we're going to get that up in a minute. About your early influences, I know you were telling me earlier you went to Hardaway High. Great school. I've had a lot of relation with folks from Hardaway. And your father also went to Hardaway High?
My father went to Hardaway and my mother went to Shaw.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that's a great influence right there next to Columbus College, Columbus State University. You done any education, or is this just totally self-taught brilliance here?
I just bought a camera from Walmart and went from there.
That's the perfect way to do it. That's the best artist. It's not, you can't buy talent, you can't train talent. You got to have it right here, is my opinion.
Well, everybody says that I should go to school for this stuff, but my thing is that you shouldn't have to go to, if you find something that you like to do, you shouldn't have to go to school to learn how to do it better.
I hate to say it, but I have to agree that this go to college and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes college will just really just pound that creativity right out of you when you're an artist. And I've seen guys that went to college and they, you know, I mean, they may have great jobs doing art or photography, but they don't have that spark that just a natural eye and ability brings you, you know? But anyway, so no school, just self-taught. Just basically you're on-rond artist. Just basically just pull yourself right up and make it happen. It's the American way, you know, work hard and do it, you know? Have a vision and make it happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
And early days, were you into, I know you said your mother started taking photos, or she was a photographer, but in the early days, did you have, maybe we could delve into your past, and since it wasn't a matter of some teacher pounding us in your head, but something that you did out of love, the early days, maybe there was an influence of filmmakers, photographers, artists, comic books.
I used to love comic books.
Oh, I thought there was a comic book influence in there.
I used to draw a lot when I was younger. I used to want to be a comic strip artist, and then I didn't want to do that anymore. And then I wrote poetry for a while, and then I did some photography in high school just for art class, but didn't really spark anything then. And then after my mom started taking pictures, and I would see her stuff on Facebook, and everybody would comment on her stuff. I mean, people would log on just to see her stuff. So then I started doing it, and now people log on to see my stuff and see if I'm gonna post a new album. And I've got people sending me messages of girls I don't even know saying, you know, will you take my pictures, or how much do you charge, or do you charge, or, you know, anything like this. And it's actually kind of cool because people look at your stuff and they want you to be behind the camera. So that's what I get out of it, just people liking my pictures.
I'm seeing that myself, because just sitting there talking to you, looking at your work, I'm like I mentioned, I saw like it reminded me of the Robert Palmer video, Addicted to Love. It's like, hey, you know, I'd like to get JT to see if he might film a video or shoot an album cover for us. So just remember, folks, JT is a working photographer. He's got a great vision, and he'd definitely make it sparkle, it looks to me. But the comic strips idea is great. I wish I'd thought about maybe bringing, the comic strip is really personal, close to my heart, as is poetry, because that was two of the things that I started out with, was comic strips, small press type work, created comic characters, and also poetry, which eventually turned into music. But your comic strip characters, maybe we can get, we can flash some of that on the screen. Did you create any interesting characters that this might manifest in the future?
Oh no, this was back in elementary school.
Oh, that was where the, did you trade your comic strips for like milk cartons and stuff? I used to trade my comics for milks and sodas. And
not really.
Because it was a barter system. Not many kids had money back in the 60s. But yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well.
Our thing in elementary school is me and this guy named Austin used to make comic strips of the Resident Evil video games.
Oh, okay.
And then when
it's Austin, what's his last name, just for the?
Simcox.
Okay, we want to get all the names out there because everybody gets a little tag here. And then
there was a group of us, we used to put on plays at my grandma's house. We used to put on Super Mario plays, and my sister Anna.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It was interesting. It was a lot of paper eggs and big posters.
Now, I'm thinking of your era. Now, you were born in '86, and that was right in that Super Mario Ninja Turtles era.
Yes, it was.
And the Ninja Turtles really exploded. That's what caused the small press thing to explode.
Yeah, they did. I had every toy.
I think it was called the Eastman and Laird, I believe their names were. But the Ninja Turtles, the earliest wave of Ninja Turtles. Younger folks now, even younger than me and JT here, know there's another wave of Ninja Turtles coming out. But that first wave in the late 80s, early 90s, it was phenomenal. And it brought out radioactive hamster preschoolers and all sorts of spin-offs and knockoffs. But anyway, I'll let you tell about it.
Well, plain and simple, you can't redo classics. So all the new stuff that's coming out, it's not going to be the same.
Exactly.
Even animation's changed. It's not the same.
And sometimes the charm of that early animation, it's like the computer animated graphics don't really thrill me as much as Star Trek with a balsa wood model of the Enterprise. Or, you know, I like that. I'm old school, of course. But
something I'm sad to say I never got into was Star Trek.
Oh, well.
I heard it's amazing, though.
By the time you came in, the Next Generation was out, and it was sort of a different thing. It's like, and the best Star Trek film was released the year you were born, actually. So it was like just a little bit off the cusp. It's kind of like me and the Beatniks, you know. I liked them, but I had to go back and find them. But getting back to your work, the photography is the main thing. But JT's had a history of photography, comic strips, but the poetry thing is really interesting to me too.
Yeah.
You don't happen to have your favorite poem that you could recite for us, do you?
Oh, no.
No?
I don't have a favorite. I mean, I have...
Poetic influences, favorite poets, Rimbaud, Robert McEwen.
I did like some Edgar Allan Poe stuff.
Very interesting. That was, I cited when I was interviewed. Edgar Allan Poe was the catalyst for me too. Edgar Allan Poe and the Beatles.
I don't know any of his stuff by heart, but when you read it, most of it sometimes is very melancholy.
Annabelle Lee. And
it gives you that feeling of like lost.
Yeah. And I love that captures, it's sort of like one of those gloomy southern days, you know. But yeah, Edgar Allan Poe, great. Anybody else?
Not really.
You got the master, the giants, you know. And basically, you know, I see a Poe-like influence here in your photography as well. That I'm seeing influences in everything, but definitely could see the brooding Gothic imagery coming through of the Poe, the cloudy skies. But anyway, influences. Your mother was a big influence. Do we have some of her art? Did you?
I brought like three of her pictures and a picture of her. That's
okay. So we've got and your mother was her name was
Cricket McKinney or Cricket McKinney Sanders.
Cricket McKinney, kind of well known in the area. I know that me and the director both are familiar with her, and this is her work now. Donnie's putting on for us, and major influence on JT, and we'll just have a moment of silence. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Thanks. Hello, welcome back to Kaleidoscope, where we cover all the local art. I don't know about art, you don't know about art, and that's why we bring people like JT Rollins in here to work on that, to explain it to us. And as you were telling me a few minutes ago, what was the catalyst that really brought you into really producing this work?
Well, since I got back into this, after my mother died, people used to tell me all the time they would log on to Facebook to see if she would post a new album of all her stuff. And then finally, when I got all these friends requests, I approved them, and I got a message one day on Facebook, and a lady had said, every day I log on to see if your mother posts a new album of her stuff. And of course she doesn't. But now I log on every day to see if you post an album. So that's why I like my work even more now, because I just take my regular friends and take pictures of them, and people think it's art. And for me personally, it's not me that makes it art, it's my friends, because I mean, I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about. Your friends are like I asked, the catalyst. Your friends and your audience that found you because of they were fans of your mother's work.
Yeah, most of them.
And this has built you an audience, and we're hoping to get a bigger audience. And it's the friends and great friends, but it's the vision. I mean, you have a great way of laying this out and putting it together.
Everything that I do, I try to have an idea behind it. Some sort of idea or vision of what I want or what I want it to look like. Like I know I took pictures of Desiree in a cemetery. She wanted to take pictures actually with her grandparents.
Edgar Allan Poe influence there. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
We took pictures of her in a cemetery actually next to her grandparents' grave. Holly, she doesn't exactly make everybody's wanted decisions, so we took pictures of her like at a church doing all sorts of stuff. Bunch of different ideas though, or concepts. Jennifer, I took her pictures last week, and we kind of recreated the Marilyn Monroe shoot where she was laying on the floor with the beads and the diamonds and the pearls.
Yes.
So we did that for her.
So what I'm getting here is there's really a corresponding of concept and subject. You've got your friends are the subjects, and your concept comes together and makes JT's art. And it's some striking stuff. It's really glad to have you on here.
I like my stuff.
Really glad to discover new artists, and you're brand new to me, but I'm a fan now. And I'm sure there's going to be about 18,000 more out there that watch this show. Check him out. There's contact information. How can we contact? How can people find JT Rowland that wants to find out and get some work done?
Look me up on Facebook.
Look him up on Facebook. And you don't have a website up yet except for Facebook?
So I have his Facebook.
Just find him on Facebook. He's on my friends list, and he's on the Kaleidoscope website.
And that would be John Thomas.
Oh, yeah, John Thomas Rowling.
Okay, John Thomas Rowland, because we call him JT, but look for John Thomas Rowland. And you're going to be hearing a lot about him. Basically, you're up for any commissions or work that anybody might want to put your way, gallery showing. You're open for anything, basically. You're not doing this just for private work, you're doing it for the world.
I'm doing it for fun, because it's a hobby. A lot of people say that I should charge for this, like to do pictures of people, but my whole thing is if I charge for it, it's not fun anymore. Yeah. I mean, I have a good job, and my job lets me, it funds my power bill to pay my power to charge my battery on my camera, so I don't need anything else.
And as Orson Welles, who only made money on like 2 movies, and the rest of his life he sold wine, he said, if it's not fun, there's no point in me doing it. And basically, he just decided to start doing it for fun, and that's basically after Citizen Kane and Lady from Shanghai, the rest of his movies were for fun. And of course, Hollywood didn't like that, but now that we're finding these masterpieces that Hollywood turned their back on. If it's no fun, there's no point in doing it.
Well, like I said, it's just a hobby, and I personally, I don't consider what I do as art. I like taking pictures of people, and then I edit it to where it's something that I would want to look at every day. That every time I look at it, I get inspired to do something else. Megan actually told me after I took her pictures at Flat Rock, she looked at me and she said, "Thank you for making me look beautiful." And I was just like, "I didn't do it. You did it." everybody's special in their own way, and I feel like if I can capture that in a digital image, that it'd be awesome.
That's one subject that keeps recurring here is that God is the ultimate artist in a way. You're basically just transcribing the work God's done.
Yeah, I mean, I can't make them look like that.
No, they're works of art in their own right.
Yeah.
And I think that.
I mean, everybody I've taken
But you
pictures
got the
of.
vision, and you were able to put it down onto. You were able to capture that vision, which is really splendid.
Yeah.
Definitely splendid. Okay, what else is going on with you? Maybe in general, we're here to delve into JT's world. What's going on in JT's world?
I'm hoping to take more pictures this weekend and next week. Desiree actually wants me to redo some pictures of her in her Halloween costume.
Oh.
And then I have a friend named Victoria that I want to take pictures of, and I just want to take as many pictures of people as I can before I move out of state. So.
Oh, you are planning to move
Mm-hmm.
in the near future, or
January.
this coming January?
Yes.
Okay, so folks, locally, wherever he's at, we'll find him. But locally, if you'd like to get with JT, we've got about a month, frame of a month. I'm glad I asked you that. And where are you planning to move to?
I'm going to be moving to Raleigh, North Carolina.
North Carolina, a great artistic state. We know a lot of artists in North Carolina.
It's a very beautiful
Asheville
city.
especially, but Raleigh also.
Yeah, I was actually in Asheville, so it was a very beautiful city up there.
Oh, yes. So, folks, North Carolina is going to be gaining a great artist, and we're, of course, with the wonders of technology and stuff, you can still find JT right here locally. And glad we caught you before that. And so what's going on in Raleigh? What's the story up there?
New start.
Just a new start, fresh ideas.
New start, new people, new city, new life, basically.
New subjects.
Yeah, new subjects. And I have some girls up there that I think want me to take their pictures. They've made a couple of comments about it, so I'm excited to move up there and just start over. So.
You know, photography is one art that's interesting art. It's almost unfathomable to me because it's like Michael Stipe. If I could be a camera, but you are the camera eye, and definitely get a new start, some fresh ideas. And we're going to take a little break. We're going to sell a few things here. Hopefully you're interested. We'll be back with you. Kaleidoscope, Will Dockery with JT Rowland, and we will see you in about 3 minutes. Hello, I'm with John Thomas Rowling. We're with Kaleidoscope. He's a local artist of the photographic field. Brilliant work, great subjects, great art. You'll be able to find him on Facebook. He's moving to Raleigh, North Carolina shortly, but he's still in town for about a month. Mm-hmm. He loves to take pictures, so get in touch with him. If you have some interesting ideas that he might be interested in working with you with. We've enjoyed it. Great pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
And best of luck in North Carolina. I know you got family here, so and once you drink of the Chattahoochee, you always return, as the Creek Nation says.
Yeah, I've already been back here twice.
And I think maybe when you come back, that you know. Anyway, basically, we wish you luck, and I will see y'all next week. I want you to take a look at some of John's work, John Thomas Rowling, and we'll be back next week with some more art, folks. Thank you.